Oh wow, real 90s right now. Alright, so today we're trying out a full face of $1 makeup. I've done a couple other $1 makeup videos. I've tried Dollar Tree makeup, Daiso, which is like the Japanese $1 store. I actually did a full face of Shop Miss A. I want to say that was a couple years ago. So I wanted to do kind of an updated one because they are popping out the new products for $1. They've totally expanded on their AOA Studio line, which is like the Shop Miss A brand itself. They also carry other brands on there, but most of the stuff that I got for this video was from that line because I've heard really good things, and I basically just picked up everything. We're trying out sponges, eyeshadows, face products, concealer, everything. So if you're excited for this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Next week, I'm going to be having a Shadow and Schmooze coming, which is where we just chill and talk and put makeup on, do a little life update, talk about the series, and yeah, just have a little catch-up session. So that will be coming next week. All right, I've got everything lined up here. We have so much stuff to try out. This is going to be a full face. If I ordered everything I needed to, I'm like 99% sure this is going to be a full face. So I'm super excited. I've washed and moisturized my skin. We're going to start out with the AOA Studio Wonder Skin Illuminating Primer. I carry other $1 brands on there, but from my experience, things in the past, the AOA Studio stuff is definitely the most promising. So I wanted to try out a ton more stuff from that. I've tried a few things here and there. This is a very glowy primer. Has a nice stick to it. It does feel pretty thick going on. Feels kind of like a thick lotion kind of primer. I think, from what I can see in the viewfinder right now, I think the lighting looks good right now. Hopefully. Try new things. That was giving me a major glow. I feel like if I'm not wearing makeup one day, but I want a glow to my face, I probably wouldn't put this all over, but I would put it on like the high points on my forehead, cheekbones, nose, and it would give like a super natural kind of glow. That's pretty. I like that. The face product we're going to be trying is the AOA Perfect BB Cream in the shade Fair. This is the lightest shade. It gives the face a luminous glow to eliminate dull skin for a brighter appearance. Enhance your natural skin tone while reducing fine lines and pores. Sign me up. The shade looks like, I think it's going to be pretty good. It looks pretty thick. So I got 2 sponges from them that came in these little bags. I've already dampened them so we can get into it, but this one feels so nice and soft and squishy. It got much bigger. Feels like it's gonna be nice. Feels really bouncy. And then I also picked up this one, which is more of like a Real Techniques kind of shape. Has the angled side, which I like this. This one definitely feels a bit more dense than this one. I also got a couple face brushes. I got the Flat Top Kabuki F1. This one feels soft, but it's a bit flimsier than I usually like in a kabuki brush, but this one, the thing is worn off, so I'm not sure what number this is, but I'm gonna have everything linked down below in the description box. But this one feels nice. It feels like a good amount of stiff. So I think I'm gonna go with this on half of my face and then probably the pink sponge on the other side because I'm really curious about this one. So yesterday I picked up my first little foster dog. If you follow me on Snapchat, you've already seen way too many snaps of him. But his name's Snoopy. He is the sweetest little guy. He's pretty old, and he's mostly blind and a little bit deaf, too. I can hear his little feet right outside the door. I feel bad that I'm, like, in here for a couple hours, but he will just kind of, like, walk into things. So if there's a lot of stuff in the room, like in this room, it's hard for him to, like, kind of dodge everything, so it's way easier out in the rest of my apartment for him. Light coverage, but it's sitting on my skin really nice. It just looks like a tinted moisturizer. I can still see everything coming through, but it toned down some of my redness, and in a product like this, that's usually what I look for. True test is always my forehead. This brush feels, for $1, it feels good. It still feels a little bit too flimsy for what I like, but I mean, it totally works for a $1 brush. I have a bunch of videos testing out kind of affordable brush sets from Amazon, from Romwe. I don't love how it's sitting on my forehead. I think I'm definitely going to have to smooth this out with the sponge up there. I'm going to go in with a tiny bit more. So let's try the sponge. I'm just going to first, oh, whoa. This feels so nice, like bouncy and soft. I'm curious how much this soaks up because it feels very, I don't know, almost like too fluffy, but we'll see. It's super soft. But anyways, Snoopy is up for adoption, so if you're in the Washington area and you want a sweet little guy who's pretty chill, you can contact Seattle Humane. I think their email's foster@seattlehumane.org. Don't contact me about him because there's nothing I can do. You have to go through the shelter. So I'm kind of building this up here. Ooh, okay, that looks way better with the sponge. That looks pretty nice for a $1 kind of tinted moisturizer BB cream situation. I mean, I have $60 foundations that look way shittier. This is something that I would wear to like go to the chiropractor, just run errands, like something where I just want my skin tone to look a little bit more even, but I don't want to put on like a full-on foundation. I just want it to still look kind of natural. It's looking really pretty, and the shade I think is pretty good. I have concealer, so I might do a little bit of spot concealing just on some of my scarring. This is super exciting. They have a $1 white concealer. So you can use this to lighten up any concealer if it's too dark, or if you have very, very, very fair skin and you need to use this shade as a concealer, you obviously could do that. And then I have the same Wonder Cover concealer in the lightest shade Porcelain. So I'm gonna try out this shade, and then if I need to lighten it, we'll go in with that white brightening shade. Oh, this feels like it's gonna dry really quickly. Blend it out right away. I think the shade is good. No, I'm definitely not gonna have to lighten this, so that's exciting. Oh, this dries hella fast. Like, you gotta work quickly with this thing. That looks like it has a pretty good coverage to me. There's a tiny bit peeking through right here of some darkness, but overall, I would say that's probably full coverage. That looks good. And I like the shade. I think the shade's pretty good for me. Even as you're putting it on right away, it feels like it's about 70% dried. I don't like using a damp sponge for my under eyes. I find it takes away a lot of the coverage on my skin. But if you have issues blending this out because it dries so quickly, you could definitely try that. This is looking nice. I'm like not mad about this base at all right now. I might go in with that brightening shade just right on the inner corner. I think I'm going to do that. It looks like it has kind of a light purple white tint to it, which that's how I use the NYX Lavender Concealer, is to brighten. The shade is called Highlighter, but it doesn't look like it has shimmer or anything in it. A little bit. Blend this in. Ooh. Formula feels a lot different. Maybe it's just not layering the best on top of that. Yeah, you can blend it out to work. I think the way to go would be to just mix the shades right off when they're both still wet and then blend it out. But that brightened my under eyes as of right now. I would use that concealer again. It's giving me nice coverage. Okay. Since I think that concealer shade is going to be too light for spot concealing, I'm actually just going to use my normal brush. This is one of the Sigma. This is the F83 by Sigma. And I'm just going to try and build it up down here. This is the BB cream again, because I feel like that brush wasn't giving me the best coverage. Okay, there we go. This is looking good. I have an extension popping out. I need to get them retaped. I've been thinking about doing a video all about the tape-ins now that I've had them for, how long have I even had these? I feel like almost a year. I feel like I have a good grasp on my thoughts on them now and everything after having them for so long. So let me know if you guys would want to see a video all about tape-ins. I also had fusion extensions for a while, so maybe I could do like a tape-ins versus fusions. All right, so I got two of their Studio loose powders. The first one is the Perfect Setting, oh, these are both called Perfect Setting Powder. One is in the shade Brightening and one is in the shade Soft Light. So I'm gonna take these out so we can see what it'll look like. The Brightening shade looks very peachy. Oh, this one looks pretty light and it looks like a nice shade. This is Soft Light. I feel like recently we've talked about loose powders in my skin like 50,000 times. It's just come up a lot, so I'm not going to go into it. But loose powders typically don't work. Just throwing it out there so new people know. So I usually don't use loose powders on my face or under eyes. But these are the only powders I have and I do want to try them. So I'm hoping this doesn't like totally ruin the good base I have going on right now. So I think I'm just going to take a dry sponge. I don't like dampening my sponges to use with loose powder on one eye, and then I might try a brush underneath the other eye. But I don't like baking if under eye loose powder works on me. It's just pressing it in. So the shade is nice and light and brightening for sure. Yeah, shade is nice. Doesn't look horrible, but it's definitely making my under eyes kind of crepey right here. Looks a lot better though than most loose powders when I try to use them underneath my eyes. Like, way better. That doesn't look half bad. I do want to try my brush on this side, so I'm going to go in with my BH Cosmetics brush. This is 137. Evenly coat the brush, tap off a bit. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm shocked because loose powders usually are a complete disaster underneath my eyes. This is not looking bad at all. That looks pretty damn good. I like the shade. I feel like the shade is good for my skin tone. It's still a little bit brightening, but it's not stark white or too light. So far, I'm very pleasantly surprised right now. So this brush side definitely looks better. I have a lot less creasing on the brush side. That looks like a full coverage under eye right there. This one, I look way more deserty and crepey. So I'm actually just gonna add a tiny bit more powder and going in with my brush on this side and try and just kind of get a little bit more coverage and smooth that out. This eye, I would do that again. Like, I would use that concealer and I would use that powder with this brush. I am kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked. I probably could blend stuff on top of it, but I want to make sure I have a good soft base for the blush and bronzer and everything to go on top of since we're trying it out. So I think I'm going to go in with this peach shade now. This is very peachy. It almost looks like the Patrick Star MAC powder. Try that peachy shade just to set my cheek area right here. I'm not going to set the rest of my face because this is where I'm going to be blending stuff on top. Oh, uh-oh. Yep, that's what usually happens to me with powders. It just takes away so much of the coverage. It just like instantly, the redness and stuff comes through. I guess I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I kind of wish I didn't do that. It feels really soft though, my skin, like feels very soft. Doesn't feel like I have a lot of makeup on at all. But just on my skin, I wouldn't use this one as an all over face powder. I'm not gonna set my forehead at all because I really like the glowy forehead. Let's move on to brows. So I've got 3 different brow products here to try. The first one's like a brow pomade, like Anastasia Dip Brow type of thing. It's called the Wonder Brow Tinted Brow Pomade. The next is the Sculpting Brow Pencil. And I also have the Go Brow Fiber Gel, which I'm super curious about. Might do a combo of all 3 of these. Get a little spoolie on one end. Oh, this is like that, I think it was the CoverGirl one. I tried this in a First Impressions. It has like the teardrop shape right there, which I'm not really a fan of, but I might try and use like the tip to fill in. So let's start out with this. The shade is a little bit warm. Yeah, it's also not quite dark enough, but I might use this just for the front. It's going on really smooth and easily though. Like the actual formula feels really nice. It doesn't have too much pigment to it, but you can just glide it over. I'm gonna use the pomade on like the second half of my brow. So the pomade's in the shade Dark Brown. I'm just gonna use an angled brush. Feels creamy going in. Oh, I like that shade a lot better. This one's a little bit darker and definitely a little bit more cool toned. I don't love this one. I do think, what is it called? Tinted? I would say it's like a tinted brow pomade. Doesn't seem like it's as pigmented as a lot of other brow pomades. It is just kind of tinting, so if you like kind of a more natural, or maybe you have a lot of hairs naturally and you want those hairs to show through but you just want to fill it in, that would probably work. I'm definitely going to have to carve out my brows with concealer today because that just got a little wild. Don't love it, don't hate it. Whoa, I just made a T in there. Let's go in with the Go Brow Fiber Gel. Has a little short, kind of stubby wand right here. I'm gonna brush this over and hope the color is good. Oh. Okay, it's definitely helping to like emphasize those actual hairs that I have. It did kind of like bring them out and make my brow look more 3-dimensional. It feels a bit dry or something, but I like how it's bringing my hairs out. And I think the shade looks nice too. That did make my brows feel kind of like heavy, crispy. I'm gonna go in with that concealer and just shape them a little bit. This eye is getting very minimal creasing for me. Like I have a tiny line right here, but that's very normal and I usually get more like on this eye. I think also because that concealer dries down so much. I feel like this concealer would actually probably be a great eyeshadow base, maybe even the white one. Ooh, I kind of want to use this. Wow, it dries so fast. I'm gonna blend this out with my finger, I think. This formula feels a little bit off, the white one. I don't know if it just looks like a bit patchier or something. I can't blend it after like 2 seconds. I'm gonna put some of the other concealer on top just to kind of fade it out and blend it. There we go. Yeah, this concealer feels a lot different than the white one. Ready for some shadow. Am I gonna do that first or... Yeah, let's do shadow. I don't really feel like doing blush and bronzer yet. So I was excited for all of this stuff, but I think I was most excited for their new, I think they're fairly new. They're like single pan eyeshadows. So I got 8. These are the shades. And then they have this AOA magnetic palette. And I have 2 bronzer pans in here too. And I kept one in the packaging to show you guys. I love the basic, just white and black packaging. This is a buck. You just take the pan out of here and you can pop it in any kind of magnetic palette you have, like a Z palette, whatever. I also make this little square palette, which I also got to put some of the highlighters and blushes in that I got. I'm really feeling this row right now, so I think I'm going to do just kind of like a simple cool toned look. I don't have a black. I can't remember if the black was out of stock or something. I feel like I would have got the black eyeshadow if they had one in stock. But we're going to start out with this shade right here, 5511. Ooh, feels hella soft. Okay. I don't like setting my concealer with a powder because I feel like then your eyeshadows are going on top of another powder and they just don't stick and hold up as well throughout the day. So I personally like putting it on top of like a stickier base, and I don't really ever have issues blending on top of a sticky base. That's pretty. That's blending out easily. I like that shade. Ooh, yeah. Whoa, totally forgot about my coffee. I'm so excited. Now I'm going to take another matte shade. This one's a little bit deeper. This is M7 5523. Everything will be linked down below, and I always link it in order too. So let's blend this into the crease. It has like a little bit of purple, like mauve to it. I'm gonna go back in with my bigger fluffy brush. I also always link my brushes I use down below. I'm feeling both of those shades. There's like very few things right now that I'm not liking. This is exciting. Don't know if I want to take this shade, which looks really pretty. This is 5520, or this one, which is more of like a pinky shimmer. This is 5502. I might put this all over the lids, a darker one, and then pop the other one on the center. Ooh, that feels soft. Press this on. This one is more of like sheen, not super shimmery, but the more I build it up, the more pop we're getting. Okay, there we go, there we go. This one actually might be a brush shadow. It kind of feels like that. I'm gonna try it with a brush and see if it's any different, and then I might try spraying it with setting spray too. This is one of those shadows that I actually think, one of the rare shadows that works better with a brush. I wanna see what this rosier shade looks like. Oh, that looks pretty. Okay, I'm gonna put that right on the center. Maybe even, I might just layer this all over. This is really pretty. This one looks totally different than that first shimmer shade. This one I think is gonna be really pretty wet. I also have this Santee Professional eyeshadow. I kinda wanna see what this lightest one looks like. That could potentially be an inner corner shade. So this is, I think, one of the only things that isn't the AOA Studio line that I got. So this one feels soft. It looks a little bit flaky, but I might try this on the inner corner. I am gonna wet this one and use a brush. Don't love that one. I want something a little bit more bright. I'm gonna try the baked highlighter I have here. This is in the shade Cream Puff. It looks like kind of a champagne. Oh, it feels pretty scratchy. Okay, wait, I actually have a lighter shade. This one is in the shade Cloud. Same one, this is just like more of a pearly white. I think I'm gonna use this one on the inner corner, yeah. All right, so again, I'm gonna wet it. This is like the 10-step inner corner right here. There we go. I'm gonna take the first shade we started with and pop that down here. I have a black gel, it says gel liner, I think. Yeah, super intense gel black liner that I'm gonna try for the waterline. I like that it comes with a sharpener attached because I never know where my freaking sharpener is. Isn't like the most black on the waterline. Yeah, I definitely prefer my LA Girl one, and the LA Girl one is just a couple bucks. So for like $1 or $2 more, I would get the LA Girl one over this one. I'm gonna blend this a little bit underneath too. And I'm gonna smudge it out with the flat liner brush. And I'm bringing this low because my wing is gonna start like right here. So I just connect it to where the wing's gonna be. Let's get some top eyeliner going. I don't think I have a liquid liner, do I? I'm gonna apply my liquid liner. This is the only thing that's not gonna be $1. The wings are intense today. I'm hoping I have lashes that are gonna fill these out. So this looks interesting. It's a pre-lash and hyper lash, so kind of like an eyelash primer and then a mascara, I'm guessing. I'm hoping this isn't gonna be like super fibery because those usually kind of irritate my eyes. So let's see how this pre-lash is. Oh, it's black. Mascara primer, it's black. That's kind of nice. Then I don't have to worry about having the white lashes. And I am still putting false lashes on. I just wanna see how these are first. So this feels very like thin, lightweight. Doesn't really feel like mascara. It seems to be separating my lashes nicely. Smells like chemical blueberries. Okay, let's go in with the mascara. Oh no, okay, this is totally like the fibers that just went all over the place. Yeah, major fibers right here. I'm gonna skip the fibers because I am putting false lashes on and I don't want my eyes to get totally red and irritated. So I have 2 pairs of false lashes here. These look exactly like the Demi Wispies. These are the Scarlet lashes by AOA. And then I also have the Aria. Oh wait, hell yeah. Okay, I actually have one more. These are L. These ones are definitely more dramatic. I'm gonna try these ones. Okay, so my lashes are on and I put on some bottom lash mascara and I actually really like these lashes. I feel like they add a good amount of volume, but they're still a little bit more natural and a little bit like wispy at the top, so they don't look super dramatic. And the band is really thin and lightweight, so they feel pretty comfortable on right now. Let's do some blush, bronzer, and highlight. So like I said, I have these 2 bronzer shades right here. I'm obviously gonna go in with this one because it's much closer to my bronzer tone. This is in the shade Absolute, and I believe this was the lightest one. I definitely would have got the lightest one. So we're gonna try this. It looks pretty warm, but we'll see. So my face is powdered. Ooh, this looks pretty orange. Okay, I'm gonna blend it over to the side because I think I got a little bit too much. Definitely a warm bronzer. So if you're not into that, you wouldn't like this shade. And I'm just applying this with a really light hand because I think it would look too overboard. I feel like it's getting a tiny bit patchy in certain areas. I just have 3 highlights in here. This pink shade is actually a highlight technically, and then this blush shade. So I'm really excited to try this shade. This blush shade is called Chromo, and I'm really into these pinky shades, and it looks like it has a little bit of glow. That is soft. Ooh, that has a pretty glow to it. Oh, I like that. Now on to highlight. I have no idea what I'm going to do here because these two definitely look too dark, but this one might look different on. I did get the white one, but I did like a light swatch and it looked really bluey purple. I don't know if any of these pan ones are going to work out. I think we're going to go with the baked highlighter in the shade Cream Puff. This brush I just want to try because this feels really nice and fluffy. This is the F19 brush. Oh, that is way more intense than I thought it was going to be. On the face, that looks pretty. And this brush feels really soft going on. I'm going to try it with my usual highlight brush that I use, my Sigma F03. The Sigma one is a bit longer and a bit more tapered, like it's not as fat. This side. Oh, that's pretty. It did not feel promising just feeling it in here because it feels really scratchy. But on, it does not look bad. Again, it's not the most softening over texture, so if you're like me and you have a lot of texture here, it's gonna show it a bit. I actually have a setting spray. I have the Pro setting spray, but it says it has a matte finish, which I don't know about. Maybe it would be a good balance actually right now because my face is pretty dewy looking. Here's the packaging. I like it, all black. Doesn't smell like anything, actually. This is kind of reminded me of the Physicians Formula one. Does this have a shit ton of alcohol in it? Oh, it actually doesn't. I don't see alcohol on here. Glycerin Aloe Castor Oil. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't know how good castor oil is on your face, but I'm gonna try and just avoid my lashes. I usually spray setting spray before I put on lashes. Just gonna see what it looks like down here. Did that just remove? What the heck? I've never had that happen with setting spray, I don't think. It looks like it just like wiped off some of the BB cream. Well, I guess I'm gonna try and blend a little bit more BB cream right there since that just took it off. I did powder, so I don't want to like go too crazy with this right now so it gets all weird textured. I probably won't be using that setting spray. I'm really glad I didn't just spray that all over my face. So I got a few lip options here, just a few. This is the Wonder Matte Liquid Lipstick. This one's in the shade Faded. This one's in the shade Extra. I think I might layer this shade with that first nude. Oh wow, this is a lot more purple than I was picturing. Feels very thin. That's a pretty purple though. I like that. It's not too intense. It's a little bit muted, but still nice like spring color. It feels pretty thin and drying. It almost feels like the ColourPop matte formula. Yeah, it feels very drying, but this shade I think is really pretty. I don't even think I want to layer anything on this. So this is the final look. I am overall so pleasantly surprised right now. I feel like I liked the majority of the things I put on my face today, which is rare. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you guys have tried other stuff from Shop Miss A, let me know what your favorites are down below because now I feel like I definitely want to pick up more stuff. Foundation Friday starts back up this Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.